The thing that I really was so impressed with and was so touched by was the crowd. There were so many people that were willing to come out in very bad weather conditions and even stand on the ice and falling on the ice, but they wanted to be here. They wanted to stand up and say, there's a better way. There's something else out there besides hate and war and violence. And to see this group of monks coming saying, let's choose peace. It stirred my heart to see so many people that said, yes, I agree.
What was so interesting about the event and special about it was that it gave me an understanding of what a great large Buddhist community there is locally in the area. So we had people from different Thai restaurants in the area, and then just, I think, members of the community who donated so much food for the monks, so big pots of soup and trays of all kinds of food. And I also was able to witness some of the members of one of the local lots, I think, ask for a blessing from one of the monks, and just to see their reaction to when he did give that blessing. It was huge, and it gave me an understanding of just how many different cultures there are here.
When you see a different culture come through, it looks odd, and so it makes you stop.
Right.
And I think that was kind of a profound moment for us when they gathered into the auditorium and they said a prayer and a chant before they ate. There was a silence that was deafening. It just makes you stop. And there's not too many things in this world that make you stop.
Exactly.
Right? So it was a profound moment for me.
And the number of people who would just cry when they talked about why they had wanted to come out and see the monks. And as they were passing, and people would give them the flowers, and then they would give the flowers to people, just people crying as they received those. And the sense of calm that I personally felt from the rest of the day, just having been in their presence, I think. If anyone else felt that sense of calm, then I think that is a change. Learning about some of the traditions for welcoming them. So they like to walk on the path of flower petals. So first of all, there was the act of getting flowers and then pulling the petals off to make that flower carpet. That was slow and meditative way to get into the whole thing. And then, they were supposed to be welcomed with silence. So as they walked into the building, we were all quiet and no sound, just the sound of them walking, if there was any sound. And that's not like anything else that I ever cover. I cover people talking, not people being quiet. So, and it's impressive when there are that many people in an area and nobody's talking. And it does make you stop and think.
An awful lot of Buddhist thought is all about getting past the words. Mm-hmm. Just experiencing that silence with no words, with no thinking, with no judging or thinking about the past or the future. And just letting this moment be enough. And when we can do that, which is not very often, but when we can, to me, it feels sacred. It feels transcendental.
And I appreciated when he was talking, the lead monk, outside to the public. And he let everybody in, those few minutes of silence, talk to focus on your breath going in and out. But then he pointed out the fact that your thoughts during that time were jumping from one thing to another. Right. And he said, kind of his message was that don't try to make that stop. You can't make that stop. That's just part of being human, those thoughts. But if you can just be aware of those thoughts, then that's a start. And so it was sort of a non-judgmental way, not you're doing the wrong thing by having these thoughts, but be aware of these thoughts. And
noticing. Right? So noticing the thoughts, and I think that's what their message was too. Hey, notice. We don't have to be at war all the time. Notice there is another option for us. Let's stop and think about that.